When you think of pirates, images of the Caribbean, treasure maps, and Jolly Roger flags might come to mind. But there's another chapter of piracy that's just as thrilling, yet often overlooked: the pirates of the Barbary Coast. These fearsome raiders terrorized the Mediterranean and beyond for centuries, capturing ships, enslaving crews, and amassing untold wealth. Unlike their Caribbean counterparts, these pirates weren't just outlaws, they were state-sponsored privateers operating under the authority of powerful North African states. Who were these enigmatic pirates, and how did they shape global history? Let's uncover the fascinating and often brutal legacy of the real pirates of the Barbary Coast. Origins of the Barbary Pirates. The Barbary Coast refers to the stretch of North Africa encompassing modern-day Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, and Libya. By the early 16th century, this region had become a hotbed for piracy, driven by a combination of politics, economics, and geography. The strategic location along Mediterranean trade routes made it the perfect base for raiding merchant ships. Barbary piracy was rooted in the struggle between Christian Europe and the Islamic Ottoman Empire. After the Reconquista expelled Muslims from Spain, many sought refuge along the Barbary Coast. These exiles, known as the Andalusians, brought seafaring skills and a deep resentment of Christian Europe. Joining forces with local rulers and the Ottoman Empire, they turned to piracy as a way of exacting revenge and funding their communities. The pirates weren't a ragtag group of misfits. They operated with the backing of powerful states like Algiers, Tunis, and Tripoli. These states issued letters of marque, authorizing pirates to attack enemy ships in exchange for a share of the loot. The Barbary pirates soon became a formidable force, with fleets of fast ships and a reputation for ruthlessness. Their targets weren't limited to trade ships. They also raided coastal towns, capturing people to sell as slaves. The Golden Age of Barbary piracy. The 17th century marked the golden age of Barbary piracy when these sea raiders were at the height of their power. Operating under the protection of the Ottoman Empire, Barbary pirates expanded their reach beyond the Mediterranean, raiding as far as the Atlantic coasts of Europe and even Iceland. Their primary targets were merchant ships carrying valuable goods like spices, textiles, and gold. One of their most infamous practices was enslaving captured crews and passengers. These human captives were sold in bustling slave markets in North African cities or ransomed back to their families for a hefty price. It's estimated that over 1 million Europeans were enslaved by Barbary pirates between the 16th and 19th centuries. Barbary pirates also built alliances with European states, leveraging their power for political gain. For instance, the notorious corsair Barbarossa, who ruled Algiers, was both a pirate leader and an Ottoman admiral. His dual role exemplified the blurred lines between piracy and statecraft. The Golden Age wasn't just about terror, it was also a time of innovation. The Barbary pirates developed advanced ship designs, including the xebec, a fast and maneuverable vessel ideal for quick raids. This era cemented the Barbary Coast as a global maritime power, feared and respected by all who crossed its waters. Life as a Barbary pirate. Life aboard a Barbary pirate ship was harsh, but rewarding for those who could endure it. The pirates came from diverse backgrounds: Muslim exiles, local North Africans, and even European renegades who converted to Islam. Many were drawn by the promise of wealth, adventure, or a second chance at life. Discipline on Barbary ships was strict. Captains, often elected by the crew, maintained authority through a mix of charisma and fear. Crews were highly skilled, with sailors trained in navigation, boarding tactics, and hand-to-hand combat. The pirates lived by a code of conduct, dividing loot equally among the crew after setting aside shares for their state sponsors. When not at sea, the pirates enjoyed a surprisingly cosmopolitan lifestyle in bustling port cities like Algiers and Tunis. These cities were melting pots of culture, where goods from around the world were traded and luxurious lifestyles were funded by piracy. Pirate leaders often held positions of power, blending seamlessly into the political and social fabric of the region. However, the life of a pirate was fraught with danger. Naval battles, harsh weather, and the constant threat of capture by European navies meant that every voyage could be their last. Despite the risks, the allure of freedom and fortune kept the ranks of Barbary pirates ever growing. The downfall of the Barbary pirates. The decline of Barbary piracy began in the late 18th century, as European and American powers grew tired of their depredations. The newly independent United States found itself targeted by Barbary pirates, prompting the First Barbary War, 1801 to 1805. This conflict saw US forces, led by President Thomas Jefferson, deploying naval power to curb the pirates' influence. European powers also took action. The British, French, and Dutch navies launched campaigns to suppress Barbary piracy, targeting key port cities and pirate fleets. The turning point came in 1816 when a British-Dutch fleet bombarded Algiers, forcing the city to release thousands of European slaves and agree to end its involvement in piracy. The final blow came in 1830 when France invaded and colonized Algeria, dismantling the last remnants of Barbary piracy. Without state backing, the pirates could no longer sustain their operations. By the mid-19th century, the era of the Barbary pirates had come to an end. While their legacy as fearsome sea raiders persisted in history and legend, their influence was ultimately overtaken by the rise of modern naval powers and the abolition of the slave trade. The story of the Barbary pirates is a fascinating chapter in maritime history. These sea raiders weren't just lawless criminals, they were part of a complex political and economic system that shaped the Mediterranean for centuries. Their exploits demonstrate the power of strategy, innovation, and adaptability in the face of changing times. But their story is also a reminder of the darker side of human history, the exploitation, slavery, and violence that often accompanied their pursuit of power and wealth. It's a tale of both triumph and tragedy, illustrating the complexities of a world where piracy and statecraft were often indistinguishable. If you found this dive into the history of the Barbary pirates intriguing, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. What aspect of their story surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And if you're hungry for more tales of history's hidden corners, stay tuned for our next video, where we uncover more incredible stories from the past. Thank you for watching, and until next time, remember, history isn't just about the past, it's a mirror reflecting who we are today.